Okay, this is the Alba Can-Am X3 clutch toolkit. We're going to show you what all these different parts here do. We're going to start with this here, which allows you to change your clutch weights in the car. Richie's going to show us how to do it.
Okay, so what you're going to need to do, put your clutch cover, pull your belt off, remove your primary bolt. So you're going to take these 3 fingers, dish side out, and screw them all the way in to this plate. And then you're going to take this with the sway bar link removed, or just out of the way. What we're going to do is install this on your clutch in between the weights, putting equal pressure on the outside of the primary clutch. Then you're going to take this piece here, the all thread bolt with washer, install it into the clutch plate tool, thread it in, give yourself 10 turns until you feel comfortable that's biting enough. That is good enough for me. Tighten this nut up. The 3/4 inch nut, I'm going to use a Grez wrench. I'm going to give it about, say, 6 turns. Just enough to where you can have free play to remove your weights. Now your weights will be easily accessible to be removed, and you can also turn the motor counterclockwise, of course, to whatever desired weight you want to change. Okay, so the remainder of the tools will be used for on the bench assembly and disassembly of the primary and secondary clutch. Right now, we're going to remove the primary with this primary tool. Remove the bolt like we did before. Install the tool until it bottoms out. Take your 19mm, just give it a little bit of, you see right there, the primary popped off. Now as you can see, our clutch cover isn't on, neither is the rear housing, so it will make it easier to remove the primary. However, with your housing on, you will have to remove your secondary in order to get the primary out. So I will take 15mm. I'm sorry, it's a 17. Secondary's off. Now you'll have access to remove the primary. Okay, this next segment's going to be about separating your primary clutch for spring change, weight change, and just plain old servicing of the primary. Install the removal tool. Leave about 1.5 inches of threads hanging out. Not threads, but just 1.5 inches of the bolt hanging out. You see that's about 1.5 inches. Doesn't have to be precise. Take your aluminum piece, put it through the clutch, and set it on top. And you want to align the 6 holes with the 6 holes on the clutch and install your Allens. and snug them down. Next, take the bolt, thread it in until the bottom's out on the clutch removal tool. And what's going to happen is as you apply pressure, it's going to separate the clutch. There's going to be a pop to it. So install your handle. Keep your hand away from the clutch when it does pop. You can do this by hand with a 24mm socket. I prefer an impact. Just going to thread it in. It's bottomed out. Just give it a couple of clicks. Boom. Just popped. Remove your 6 Allens. Remove the clutch tool. And your clutch is now separated. You have access to your buttons. Yep. Access to your weights. And the next segment will be removing this, but this is under spring pressure, so we're going to put it in the tool again to where you're not removing it with a sharp pop. Okay, this next segment is going to be about removing the primary spring. We separated it already, so it should come apart. Set that aside. Tools you're going to need are the all thread, both these spacers, washer, and nut with Alba tool. This is we're gonna need a vise for this next part. We're gonna come over to my vise over here. Chuck the all thread in the vise, nice and tight. Put one spacer on, lip up, primary clutch. Next spacer, lip down, washer, and then the nut tool. You're probably wondering why I don't put spacers on, so I don't got to thread this all the way. Well, the thing is that when you remove the spring cap, you're gonna need this much thread to remove the spring. It's gonna be under pressure. Just snug it down, like so. Not very tight, just snug. Take a 30 Torx and remove 6 bolts. And when you go to the last one, it's going to be under pressure, but nothing's going to pop because you have the tool snugged down. Now, what you want to do is grab the marker and mark where you had it before. Find your mark you had before, which is right here, this black mark. And I'm just going to put up a mark there. Keep everything in line. Just slowly back off your tool. That's it.
I'm gonna assume to install the spring, you do the opposite of this.
Absolutely. And you want to keep everything in line. Put it back the same way you took it apart. And there's your spring. And then, okay, this next segment is going to be about separating and taking apart the secondary clutch for servicing the rollers or change springs, or as you can see, we've reclocked ours. But that's a whole different subject on clutch tuning. what you want to do is you're going to mark this one again too. You will see arrows, just one arrow on the outside one arrow on the inside one. They're in line. And then if you have multiple holes in yours, mark the one that your spring is in. Now we take our all thread like we had before for separating the primary. Do the same thing as put it in the vise. Tighten it up. You're going to use the 2 spacers, the washer, and the thread tool. Spacer, lip up. Secondary, down. Second spacer, lip down. Washer, thread tool. Snug it up. 50 torques. Remove the 3 bolts, holding the secondary together. This one's got a lot of Loctite on it. There's one. Keep that snugged up. There's 2. And there's 3. And this will be under pressure. Move through screws. Just slowly rotate backwards and the clutch will separate. It's going to be under tension. So just hold it with one hand and pull up. And remember, it's spring loaded, clocked. Top hat, bottom half. You notice only one hole for the bottom part. Plastic cup, spring, one hole, and multiples for tuning on your outer. Assembly is the same way as this assembly, but you have to clock it.